Hello folks and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're going to check out the brand new update, which is a pretty big one actually. That is the beautiful JustFlight 146 Professional. I think you've probably seen it a few times now on the channel and nothing's changed. In fact, actually, in my view, in my personal opinion, this is the best aircraft ever released for this sim to date. But hey, you know, there's lots of amazing aircraft out there. I'm sure you might have a different view on that, but for me personally, doesn't get any better than this for me. Anyway, we're going to be taking this beautiful, beautiful airliner from London City to Dundee. But the thing here actually is three things. One, we're in the Quest 2, and I thought, why not use this headset? I've shown this aircraft in VR using the Vario Aero and the Pimax 8KX, you know, two top-end, high-end headsets. However, let's try it in a more, dare I say, budget-style headset. It's still a lot of money, you know, the Quest is still very expensive, but I think it would be quite cool to see if I can actually fly a complex airliner in the Quest 2. Right, enough of that. As you can see there, the frame rate is 40 frames per second whilst recording on Airlink with the OpenXR toolkit, of course, and that's thanks to that, at London City with real-world weather. Pretty amazing. And I'll leave the frame rate counter on for a bit because I think it's quite interesting to see that, especially as it shows the excellent performance of this add-on as well. Right, let's get in the cockpit and get this thing fired up. So welcome inside the cockpit of the 146 Professional. I have to say, in the Quest, it looks pretty damn good actually. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can't read everything, and I'm definitely going to have to use the zoom feature. But then, actually, that's one thing that JustFlight have improved. And you can see here, it's really snappy now. Like before, sometimes it wouldn't work very well. But you can do that with the overhead panel. And look, they've thought of every single place you'd need to look. So that's really cool. Also, as you can see here, the EFB is now showing a sim brief. And, well, actually, this is the bit I want to show you here. You can now scroll down and you've got a wealth of information there, which is very cool. We're going to keep it on that page for now, though. And the VR controller, well, of all the aircraft I do own, I do recommend trying to use this aircraft with the VR controller because you can really reach around like you would in the real thing, and it gives you that sense of physical presence of being inside the aircraft. Anyway, with that being said, we're now going to go through the checklist. Now, I appreciate, you know, this might take a while. I'm actually, you know, I can do it without the checklist these days, but I'm going to show you it because it is very intuitive. But I'm not going to show every single button and press. I'm going to edit this together so the video isn't too long, but we will go through it as much as we can and I'll show you a fair bit. And for the most part, I'm going to use the controller to see how things are. Now, first thing we need to do is to set that. That was very easy to do that. Transponder, well, that's set to standby. Air brakes, flaps are all good. Nav light, we're going to put that on, and the battery 1 and 2. So we'll come over here. See, by the way, I'm moving around with my hat switch with the translation keys. Where are you? There you are. We'll put you on high. And then, actually, that didn't quite work. I must admit, even though most of the buttons are okay, they can still be a little fiddly. You've got to get in the right spot. Like at the moment, I'm not doing it very well. Hang on, let me just use that. Sometimes using the laser pointer works. So, you know, there's still a few areas where the sort of controller doesn't really click the buttons up and into the on position. That often is the case with the rocker switches when there's like 3 positions, I've noticed. But, you know, if it's a pain, you can always use your mouse. It's not a problem. But I personally really like to use the controller on this. Right, anyway, master switches are going to come on and all that kind of good stuff. Reach right up there now, out my seat, like you would in the real thing. Oh, it's fantastic, guys. Lift spoilers will be next after the anti-skid, so we'll get that on here. And let me know, guys, in the comments, have you bought this aircraft or are you still on the fence? Don't be too overwhelmed or worried about the sort of complexities of this aircraft. I think the checklist system and the comprehensive manual that comes with it is definitely worth a read. And you'll surprise yourself, guys, how quick we'll get used to, you know, starting this aircraft up and having fun with it, really. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Right, so here, like, those are fine, but these rocker switches here can sometimes be a little bit, like this one, a bit tricky. And I find using the laser pointers kind of works better. So here we are, look, the APU is coming online now, and God, she just looks so gorgeous. We're completely wireless, by the way. I'm using the Orbica head strap with a battery in the back, giving me about 5 hours on Airlink, which is just plenty for this flight, I tell you that. We should only be about an hour. APU, air and packs are now coming online. Go through the checklist here. I'm doing this checklist just to show you guys it is actually very easy. It's all there and it's very comprehensive. Right, cabin emergency lights, they can be armed. I think these need to be armed as well. And just, you know, working around the cockpit just feels really great. I'm going to sort of not be too concerned about the some of the checks just to save time. AC pump can go to auto as well. That's all good. Okie dokie. Your damper, that can be on now. Tick oxygen mask, we can check that here. You see guys, actually I know I'm going really fast here, but this is how you will be once you get used to it. Right, before start checklist, departure briefing. We're going to actually depart on the BKB 1A departure out of London City. We're going to get this tuned in as well, while remember. Now, this is something that has also been changed because that was quite hard to switch on before. This is feeling nice. Let's do it self-test, and then we'll add in our frequency for Dundee. So that's all dialed in there, nicely done. Brake pressure, that's all looking good. Ice detection, that can now be switched on. And we best open the stairs actually so the passengers can get on board. I love it. Love it. Very nice attention to detail there. Right, anyway, getting sidetracked here. As I say, I won't show you every single thing. Altimeters will be checked. Now, the temperature is 14 degrees today. I think it does change the temperature depending on what the live weather is. I'm not quite sure, but it seems to do that, I've noticed. So we'll go to takeoff. We need 93%. And then if we go here and click 24. Okay, that works with the controller as well. That's impressive. Right, we'll go to the FMS as well. We'll just get our position all fired in there. Now, we're going to import our route. So what we're going to do is go to Index. We'll click Next here. And you can see Route menu. We're going to click on that now. This is definitely working better than it used to be. Flight Plan Recall. So we're going to click on that. And then it's loading the flight plan. I love this. This is brilliant. And saves you a ton of work actually. And it's quite realistic because this is kind of what could happen in real life. I remember once when I flew in a Hawker 900 business jet and they actually did the same thing. They got the information through sent from their main headquarters into the FMS. The flight plan has been loaded, so there it is. Look, that is looking exactly how we want it. Fantastic. Right then, so that is all set up there. Right, I think we're now ready for engine start. So what we're going to do now, folks, is put our beacon light on, making sure that all our fuel pumps are on. Engine anti-ice is on as well. Very satisfying with all these clicks. Honestly, it feels fantastic. And we'll start number 4. Here we go, folks. Now what I'll do is I'll just zoom in so you can see we're waiting for 20%. And then we can engage fuel. And at this point, folks, I'll let you enjoy the sounds of the engine startup of all 4 engines. And then I'll see you at the end of the runway. Right folks, welcome back. We're now ready for takeoff and you can hear people in the back. And talking of the back, we're going to have a look in there once we get established on our climb out into cruise, because as I say, the wing views are now better because the resolution of the windows has also been updated, which I'm looking forward to checking that out en route. Right then, so Strobes are on. Landing lights are on. Just having a few final checks here. We'll get rid of the checklist. And we'll get ready for takeoff now. Flaps 24 degrees.
TMS sets takeoff.
Oh, not yet, Martin. Hang on a minute. Let me just... that's it. The parking brake has now been released. And we'll line up ready for takeoff. Look at her. She's such a beautiful bird. She really is. I know I keep saying that, but I can't help it, folks. I truly mean it. I love this thing so much. Oh, she sounds beautiful. Right, the TMS. Thank you very much, Martin. Do you know, the call-outs are fantastic. We are now set and we are rolling. And I'm just going to stay quiet and enjoy what is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful airliner.
80 knots was checked. V1. Rotate. V2.
And there she is, climbing out of London City. Obviously, I've done this flight now so many times. Look at that. Wow. You know, folks, it doesn't matter whether you use a Quest or an Aero, that experience is still amazing. Now, just to let you know, we're climbing in IAS mode, so we're pitching for around 190 knots. We're in ALNAV mode now, cruising up. In fact, I'm going to go straight for our cruise altitude today. No messing. Oh, that's the wrong way around, you idiots. In fact, actually, I think the best way to do this... Okay, that's a bit weird. Maybe I'll just use my mouse. So yeah, there's a few sort of things that need to be improved on in terms of the VR control support, but I think, to be honest, most people will be using their mouse anyway. But I do personally like to use the controller when I can for sort of moving around the cockpit. I do find that's really cool, but it's not perfect by any means. Certainly room for improvement, but my goodness me. I noticed on the rollout she's a bit more sprightly on takeoff now, so there's definitely been some tweaks to the flight modelling. And I really like the quality of life improvements with the EFB as well. Right, do you know, also the autopilot is really, I don't know whether it's custom coded or not. I think it might be. I'm not entirely sure, but it really does an amazing job of being very accurate. Oh, we've got TCAS alert there. So there's obviously an aircraft, which I'm not surprised because we're heading right over London right now. Let's take a look outside. You know, folks, you couldn't even pay for an experience like this not that long ago. Oh, it's actually, the Quest is picking up my hands. Shame they don't work in the sim. Maybe one day. Right, folks, so as we climb out to our flight level, which is 250, I'm just going to show you something actually, because we can now go inside. Well, we could do that before, but I like how there's actually a door, which I've just gone through. That's now animated. I really do like that. Just those little things. And we'll just check out the a wing view here, because this apparently has been upgraded a little bit. Wow, look at that. That is amazing. Oh, folks, VR is such an incredible experience. I mean, I've been doing this for years now, but sat here, I feel a little bit lonely, admittedly, because there's not many people in the cabin, but probably because of my flying skills or lack of, but it just feels so good being in the cabin here. You know what, I actually would stand up on camera, but I'm wearing pyjamas. You don't want to see that on camera. So yeah, we'll get back into the flight deck. And what we'll do is, folks, I'll play a bit of music for you, enjoy the route into Scotland, and I'll see you on approach. So welcome back, folks. We're now in a descent and it's quite cloudy, as you can see. So we've set up the ILS for Dundee. Edinburgh is over there somewhere, but ideally I want to hand fly this aircraft in because I just love doing that. Right, I think we'll just do our approach checklist. Altimeter is checked, seatbelt signs are on. APU, we've just started that. Brake fans are definitely auto. Fuel, got plenty of that still. Cabin has been warned. Steep approach, well, we don't need to be doing that. Anti-ice is still on. And my Quest 2 battery is low, so all approach checklist is now complete. I have been flying now quite a lot in the Quest 2 because I've done this flight, which has actually been about an hour and a half, and before this I was messing around in DCS as well with the Quest, so I probably had about 4.5 hours in the Quest today. Anyway, folks, do you know what, I want to go hands-on now. I just love flying this bird so much. It's a beautiful VFR day. I think it'd be rude not to, don't you think? So here we go then, let's go hands-on. And something about when you're flying this in VR, you feel like you're flying something huge. That makes sense. It's got that kind of weightiness to the controls. And that's hard to explain it really, unless you know, try it for yourself. And I'm sure many people in the comments have bought this aircraft anyway. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, so Dundee is out there somewhere. This is where in the Aero I'd be able to see the airfield really clear. In the Quest it's a bit of a blur, but it's okay, you know, it's not that bad. And to be honest, if this is the only headset I ever owned, I'll be quite happy with it really. It's a very versatile headset, the Quest 2, isn't it really? Think about it. Especially now you can be on wireless for like, what, 5 hours? Incredible. And talking of the Quest 2, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've got some image stabilization going on. So when I move my head, it shouldn't be so jittery. I love that feature, and please, Vario or HP or Pimax, if you're watching this, please add image stabilization software to your mirror. It would make content so much easier to make. You know, I know graphics shouldn't be the #1 priority, and I don't think it really is in this sim. I don't think it's an arcade sim at all, unless you use it that way. And especially with an aircraft of this fidelity, how can you call it arcade? This absolutely couldn't be further from the truth. Right, we'll just go over this beach here and come in for a landing. We're not going to need the ILS today, which I'm quite pleased about actually, because we can just hand fly her in. I love seeing that complicated gear go out like that. That's just incredible. Look at her. Right, so flaps are now.
170, select flaps 30.
That's interesting. Is that a new call out? I don't remember that one last time. Very nice touch there. Like it. So flaps 30 has now been selected. I'm just going to get onto the approach here, a little bit to the right.
Speed check below 145, select flap 33.
Roger that. Now Dundee has got such a short runway, much like London City, so you've really got to be on the ball. Okay folks, so we are just coming onto the glide slope now. You can see the PAPI lights coming into view. There's a bit of wind actually. I'm just feeling there's a bit of a gusty wind. Oh guys, this feels good. This is just such an amazing experience. It never gets old.
500.
Concentration now. Looking good. A little bit fast, I think. No, we're okay actually.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Ground idle.
Ooh, and we are down.
Yellow and green spoilers.
I will take that. Whoa.
Brake pressure C.
Nose coming up there a little bit. Now
80
applying
knots.
brakes. Fantastic.
60 knots.
Just look at that with the lift dump and the air brake coming out as well. Using all the runway here at Dundee, and there's not much of it to be fair. So there we are folks, welcome to Dundee here in Scotland. If you haven't yet, I'd highly recommend this route. I could literally do it 100 times and still love it. And look at that, she turns on a dime as well. So really, I have to congratulate JustFlight for those fantastic updates. To be honest, it's been quite a significant update. There's been lots of things sorted out. A few things I'd like to see just with the VR touch controller, but maybe, you know, that might be a limitation of the sim. Just with the rocker switches that have 3 different positions, it can be a little bit difficult to get to, but literally that's all I can think of. This is such a sublime experience, it really is, and worth every penny. And we're going to taxi now to the ramp here at Dundee. And I'll see you again next time. Thank you so much for watching, as always. I really do appreciate it. If you feel like subscribing, 60% of my viewers are not subscribed, who watch my content regular, by the way. So I would appreciate if you share the love. I'm going to park next to this 146 right here, which has now been retired at Duxford. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now. Wow. What an experience.